past the silver screen. Steven, JT, Bruce, let's look past them together.
So, welcome back to Past the Silver Screen. Grab your popcorn buckets, your favorite fountain drink, your juju beads, your Twizzlers, whatever accoutrements and condiments and stuff like that that you like, your confectious goods. Hop a squat with us as we sit in these movie theater chairs to look at some of the best stuff around in entertainment. Today's episode will be an interesting one. We'll be talking about one of an iconic musical figures and the movie that just got released, um, pretty much going over his life. I'm Bruce, and I'm here with my buddies and my counterparts while we talk to you guys. Guys, introduce yourselves.
What's going on, gentlemen? And
Hello,
for
hello.
the viewers listening at home, we all three, as of the last week, as of this recording, saw the latest biopic out there, and that would be the Michael Jackson biopic. Very excited to get into it. This is our first review episode, really talking about a movie that all three of us have seen. So I'm very excited. I cannot wait. Steven, welcome. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. It's been nothing but ever since I got out of the theater, just listening to Michael Jackson music. I mean, it has become just such a personality trait at this point where if I see a movie and I really like it and it just connects and it hits home, then that's gonna be my personality for the next like 2.5 weeks. I was
Agreed.
huge, and I still am huge into space thanks to Project Hail Mary, and I've learned actually so much just about that whole kind of that different side of like science that I never really cared to learn into before. But yeah, this is fantastic, and it's absolutely magnificent. And I can't wait to hear what both of you guys think about Michael.
Steven
Now, I
actually
want to
just
be
became a
honest.
physicist.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
last week.
He got it. Yeah, he got it. I mean,
Listen,
he went to school. He's
I,
done.
I want to be honest with both of you guys and the audience, right? And I
That's why
think
we're
you
here.
guys already, I think you guys knew, right? Like I
Mhm.
wasn't that interested in watching Michael, right? Like I kind of had this weird mixed feelings about watching it. You guys were like, "Oh, we watched it; it was good," and I was like, "Yeah, but is it?" And I kind of pushed back on it a little bit. So last night I gave in, and me and the lady we went and we watched it. Now, what I saw, I'm gonna start before we do the review by saying sorry to both of you guys for not taking your credibility here. I definitely, yeah, I definitely respect you guys'
So good.
opinion. Yeah.
So
So sorry for that.
who
I
wants to
trust you
jump in
guys.
first? Who wants to go first with their review
Let
of
me
the
get it
film?
off my chest
Yeah,
I
because
was gonna say we
boy,
should have
it
we
is
should have Bruce do
fresh in
it.
my mind.
yeah.
All right, so here's first of all the music. Let me just cover the music because that's the easiest part, right? The music was amazing. For me particularly, I grew up in that era, right? Like for me, watching Michael Jackson grow up and become the man he became was something I was privileged to see to some degree, right? I
Mhm.
remember the holidays, listening to the Jackson Fives, holidays specials, watching the cartoons in the '80s. I remember that stuff. I remember MTV never playing a black artist, and eventually they were able to play Michael Jackson, the first black artist on MTV. And so the music part was so good. And I'll tell you this, you know the Michael Jordan disease, right? Or the Kobe Bryant disease. People or Jay-Z disease, people hated them because they had such extensive successes, right? So
Mm-hmm.
at some point, Michael Jackson reached such a pinnacle in his life that even for me, I wasn't trying to get into Michael Jackson. But the one thing
Wow.
that was undeniable was his catalog. Michael Jackson, the person, was never going to be an interesting factor to me at some point in my life, but the music was undeniable. So here's my take. I love the music. The music was freaking amazing. They couldn't do no wrong.
Hmm.
The cinematography was freaking amazing. It
Oh
looked
my God.
beautiful. It was so beautiful.
Hmm.
Um, Coleman Domingo,
Oh,
by the way, unrecognizable as Joe Jackson.
Right.
Like it was intense.
The
Looking at
makeup was
him and going,
is just
"Holy
gorgeous.
shit!" I had to tell my girl, "Yo, that's Coleman Domingo." It was
mm-hmm.
amazing. Um,
Yeah.
Nia Long, beautiful pick for Michael Jackson's mother. I love Nia Long. She's one of my favorite actresses. I love her. Come on the show, Nia Long. And Michael Jackson's nephew playing Michael Jackson.
Oh my gosh, Jafar.
Jafar
Jafar.
Jackson, legend.
Jafar.
Like
Beautiful.
the fact that it is his first on-screen debut
Yeah.
to play your uncle.
Was it was
What?
impeccable. He couldn't do no wrong. Now I will say, at first I was I was skeptical, and I think you guys can agree with this. My skepticism was on the appearance. I think more so than anything, I was like, does he look like Michael, right? And I think Stephen, it was you that said, wait till after the plastic surgery, you're gonna see it. And then
Hmm.
it was ironic and true to the statement that after that plastic surgery, and I wish my girl was here, she could contest to it. I kept saying to her, I could not stop saying, he looks just like fucking Michael. Oh my
Yeah.
God, he looks. There were moments where I was like, is that Michael? I can't tell anymore. It was
Right.
so freaking good. I loved it. I loved the music. So, just in summary, and then I'm going to pass the mic. In summary, music, amazing. Choreography, fucking phenomenal.
Great.
Cinematography, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
acting and their casting, phenomenal. And I would say if we're giving it 5 stars, right? If we're talking a rating of 5 stars. I think Steven, you said 4.5, and I can't deny that. I
Yeah.
think that's what I give it as well. I'm riding that coattail, and I'm saying 4.5. They paid homage. That's for your father Joe. Homage, Joe, if you're listening. But yes, they paid great homage to Michael Jackson, and yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, yeah. Mike's passed. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Steven, do you
Four,
wanna
4.5.
Steven, do you wanna jump in there or
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna agree with Bruce. It's an easy 4.5. And when I was watching, because I also saw it with my girlfriend Hannah, I was just like, this is it's first it's just incredible, just the fact that Jafar, it almost felt like he was channeling Michael through him to give us a performance like this again. I mean, you talk about the way his mannerisms were, the even down to his voice, like he
Yeah,
literally embodied Michael Jackson.
yeah,
Like, and I will say that one of my things that I see a bunch of people talk about here too is it's like, the stuff about growing up and that backstory, and maybe his brothers weren't in it enough and didn't have enough stuff like that. I mean, we're watching a Michael Jackson movie. We're not watching a Jackson 5 movie. And
agreed.
that's my kind of counterpoint to stuff like that is where, yeah, don't get me wrong, like I'd love more stuff about his home life, but I'm here about Michael Jackson. I'm here to see the guy who sold out stadiums day after day after day. And they did a great job showing that too, with people passing out at his
They
concerts.
did.
You
Totally,
had
totally.
everything. They even, I mean, it's not even a spoiler alert. It happened. They brought up the whole Pepsi situation where he got
That
third
was
degree
bad.
burns. Like they did that. They brought up the child abuse with him growing up and how his father Joseph was just a terrible human being. His
Wow.
first question to a doctor is he going to be able to perform again? Not is my son okay? That's just the
Mm,
movie goes to show you just the lengths of Joe, like what he will do to get his way because it's none of his kids' ways. And I just thought the movie was gorgeous. And jumping back to Bruce, your point about the cinematography, there is one particular shot which is my absolute favorite shot that I've seen in this entire film, and that's when he leaves his the record agency, and he stands on top of the car,
Oh, in the car.
and you just see him waving at everybody. That was the greatest shot in the entire film. It
Wait,
was
Mike Myers.
beautiful.
How fucking amazing that
Yes!
was to see Mike Myers. I was like,
We got him
holy
back.
shit. I told my girl, she couldn't see him. And I said, no, that's Mike Myers. After I pointed out, we couldn't unsee it. But anyways, go
I
ahead.
knew it
Sorry,
was
didn't
him
mean to hijack
because-
that, but that was amazing.
Oh, you're
That was
okay.
amazing.
I loved that Mike Myers got to be in this because he was in the previous movie they produced, Bohemian Rhapsody. That's almost like the typecast he's going to be now. Is that producer? He's funny as hell in the movie. He is just great, and he's also just one of those icons as well in movies. I mean, with
on the show,
Wayne's World. Yeah, with Wayne's World, I mean, Saturday Night Live, he did all of it. And I thought it was, for a second, for like a minute, I was like, who the hell is that? Like, his eyes look like Mike Myers, but the face is just, that makeup team, I mean, kudos. That is an Oscar nomination in my books.
Yeah.
This, the only way that I would maybe give this movie a 5 is if it was another hour long, because I could watch a 3-hour movie of Michael Jackson. I wish they delved into, Smooth Criminal, Dirty Diana, kind of giving us some of those other hits that came out, Black and White, and I just love this movie. It was so damn good.
Wow. Yeah. I'm gonna be the one to start this off by saying I also gave it a 4.5 out of 5, like the rest of these lovely gentlemen on this podcast gave it. I will start with the negatives and I'll go into the positives because we'll end this review with some positives on the positive note. I think I would have liked to see, like Steven, to your point, yes, it is a Michael movie, but his brothers were a big part of his life. So not really seeing much of the relationship between, Jermaine or Tito or, Joe or any of those other brothers kind of, I was like, okay, I would want to see a little bit more of that brotherly relationship. I mean, they started off as the Jackson 5, and we did get to see that, but that relationship, them going back on tour, the relationships between the other brothers and Joe, like all of those, I don't know, that I wish I saw a little bit of more of that. I don't agree when the critics gave it such a low rating. IGN gave it a 3 out of 10.
Wow.
Terrible.
Rotten Tomatoes has it at like a 40%.
Wow.
Yeah, and if I were to try to explain it, I think
Did they even watch this movie?
I think they wanted more of Michael's life story and not his musical story because yes, we got a ton of his music and his big hits. We got a ton of that. Thriller. We got to see Beat It. We got to see, just a lot of these, Human Nature. Like, we got to see a lot of that. And it's like, okay, well, what else? We want to know about this. We want to know about that. And it's like, at some point you got to realize, like, Michael did have a very complicated life. He was always in the news about something, whether it be positive or negative. And going into this movie, knowing that legally they cannot touch upon the accusations, that cuts out a good part of his life. And I don't want to sit here and go through a movie where it's just contradicting and just hitting Michael Jackson as a person with all these negative things. I'd rather see and go into a movie seeing and hearing the amazing hits that he made. And yes, you can say that this biopic of a movie was just a 2.5 hour long concert. I'm fine with it. And you know why I'm fine with it? Because dead or alive, Michael Jackson is the artist that I would want to see one time. And I never got to see it. I'm bummed that I never got to see it, but I also grew up in his later life. I remember the day that he passed. I remember exactly where I was.
Same.
like that's how much of an impact he had on a young person's life like myself.
Yeah.
Um, so going into the movie, I'm like, I don't like I know about his music. That's fine. I want to hear his music. Like I want to hear the songs that I'm jamming in the car to. And everybody else in the theater that I was with, I can't speak for y'all two, but in the theater that I went to, it was sold out.
Yep.
B,
Wow.
it was like a concert. People were dancing, people were singing, people were jamming, bobbing their heads, tapping their foot. Like it was an entertaining movie. I'm not sitting here trying to learn about the life of Michael Jackson because when you look at it, Michael Jackson, whether he had a complicated life or not, the music speaks for itself. And
Yeah.
he's still streamed to this day. People listen to him all the time. This biopic is opening up at a fantastic week in the box office. Um, it's critics want to see more of the personal lives, while the audiences, in my opinion, want to see more of the entertainment side. And this movie was an entertaining one, and that's what I got out of it. I was entertained. I loved it. Um, I will say, when it comes to we talked about the cinematography, the concerts were great. Seeing everything on stage, seeing the choreography, seeing all that was fantastic. We can't lie though. The CGI with the animals was a little rough. It was a little wonky. Bubbles was a little weird looking, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
And so it was, I understand you probably can't get a real monkey on there. And if that was a real monkey, we got to inspect that monkey because it did not look like a real monkey.
Some Curious George ass shit.
No lie.
Exactly. So like there are some rough parts about it, but not enough. It wasn't enough for me to say, all right, like
Bumping it down
it's
a
gonna
point.
drop. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not doing that. I had an entertaining time. I sat there and bobbed my head. I sang the songs. Like that's what I went to the movie to see, and I got exactly that. And we spoke about it. Bruce, you said it at the top. Jafar Jackson. I mean, what a phenomenal job. I mean, when it went from his younger life to his more like adult life, and Jafar came on screen, when he first spoke, my entire theater went, "Oh my god!" Like the entire theater gasped because it sounded just like Michael. And like Steven, you and I were talking about this when we saw it, at separate times. But when you and I saw it, Steven, like the music of Michael Jackson is playing when he's singing, but those are his vocals.
Yeah.
Like Jafar is singing, like he is singing, he is doing the dance. Like it took him, like this movie was started development and started everything in 2019, I believe.
Wow.
And the fact that when Jafar auditioned and they were like, "Yep, give it to him," I was like, "Yeah, that's a no brainer. That's a no brainer." Like I was, yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
Same.
I will say.
Two.
I. Go ahead, Steven.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was gonna say two really quick things for me here.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
one for the Academy, anybody at the Academy. If Rami Malek, who is fantastic in Bohemian Rhapsody, can play Freddie Mercury, Jafar Jackson, this is your guy to pick. I don't care how many other months we have left of 2026. This is the guy. And secondly, we can't talk about how great Jafar Jackson is without talking about how great Giuliano Valdi was as young Michael.
Yeah.
Yes.
How incredible was that kid? Oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh. He
Choreography
had
again.
yeah, he had the soul of Michael Jackson in him. And if you
Yeah.
want to really like look into how this kid acts, go on these this red carpet press tours. He is jamming out and he is doing
He loves
moonwalks
it.
on the sets. Like he's living in it. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but toot everyone. There is a lot of Memphis ties in this movie. There is a kid that goes to a local school here in Memphis that was in the movie. So shout out to my
That's
hometown
awesome.
of Memphis. So love to see it. Love to see it.
The only reason why it didn't get a 5 to me, and I think JT, you hit on one of them was the CGI. You're right. I think that was a big part of the reason why I didn't get a five. I think the other part that didn't allow me to give it a five was that there was no Janet, and
Mm, mm,
I could tell you that was something that I felt was missing the whole time. And even my girlfriend, who reluctantly went to this movie with me and then turned to enjoy it at the end,
Hmm.
was even asking where was Janet, and that to me was important because Janet had already been in a career by some of those times. She was on Good Times as
mm-hmm.
Penny.
Yeah.
She was on Different Strokes. And then later on, she was on The Facts of Life. She she had like a pinnacle career in certain respects, and then eventually made her own career out of music. So during this transition to Michael Jackson's life, where was Janet? Not that I
Yeah.
wanted to focus on the siblings, but we saw all the siblings, Latoya, all of them, right? Marlon,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jermaine, Tito, all of them. But then there was no Janet. Not even a mention. Like, even if they mentioned her and then skated past it, I would have been fine with that. But I felt like leaving her out was leaving out a very important part of Michael Jackson's backstory, because he loved Janet, his little sister. And in the end, the only real person that stood by Michael's side through all the chaos was Janet. Of all
Mm-hmm.
his family members, was Janet. Janet protected him. She assumed responsibilities for certain things. And yeah, yeah, yeah. So, anyways, that's the only reason why I didn't give it a five. That half a star was because CGI and no Janet. Not even a
So
mention. Even if
if
they give
if
her a mention.
if I were to sit here and tell you, I'm not trying to sway your opinion,
Yeah.
but I had the same thought. I had the exact same thought after I got done seeing it. My mom, who went with us during the theater, she looked it up, and Janet actually declined to be any
I
mentioned.
heard.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
declined herself to not be in
Yeah.
it. So the only thing, and I'm again not trying to contradict your thought and
No,
opinion, because
no, no.
I
It's
agree.
right.
I agree. If she doesn't want to be in it,
Oh
that's
wow.
on her. I mean,
That was the
that's
same
on
thing
her.
I told my girl because she was the one that like was really like, where the hell's Janet? And I was
Yeah,
like, I told her, I says she opted out of not being in this movie.
yeah,
But I think
Yeah.
even at that point, there's nothing wrong with mentioning her, right? Like,
right.
okay, you can't build on her character because she's not consenting to it, or she's not giving you memories, or whatever the case is. But
Mm-hmm.
they could still mention Janet. That she
Yeah.
was as much a part of his story and legacy, just the name alone, right? Like they could have said, well, Janet's off in the background playing or whatever. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
not she didn't have to be on screen. They didn't have to
Right,
be any of
right.
that. Just a
Yeah,
mention, but like it almost is like they wrote her out, and I felt kind of dismissive, and I felt fake to me because I was like, damn, man,
that's
Yeah.
fair.
Janet.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's
So
fair. But
The
like, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the one last thing I wanted to say before I forget, because I know I'm gonna forget. The thing that I thought the movie could have done a little bit better, kind of thinking about it now, is his relationship with his brothers before the victory tour had occurred. Because we have
Mm,
to remember, by the time that Thriller came out, there was a lot of jealousy within their family. I mean, there
oh
was a
yeah.
thing where it's like, Michael's now the popular one, and
Hmm.
I don't want to say concrete, but I believe based on like stories and everything that's come out in the past, like Jermaine was the one who had the biggest issue with it because there was that.
Jermaine was because he was the heartthrob.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
he was the people loved little Michael, but little Michael was cute. He was a kid. Whereas like
Mhm.
Jermaine was the oldest brother and he was like a teenager, so he was fully developed looking at chicks. He was like the heartthrob of the band. If you ever see the
Yeah.
original like footage for some of those shots, you'd see like he's over there, like girls are like wooing over him and he's like making these cute googly eyes at him, winking. Like he's the
Yeah.
playboy. So
Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
the attention finally, like he was supposed to be the first to go and not the last. That's what
Yeah.
Yeah.
happened.
And that's what the movie could have done a little bit better on, because like they teeter the line of when he comes back home from the toy store signing the autographs with the kids, and he's like, hey, like we should play this game, and they're like, oh, what are you talking about? Like they're kind of like almost pushing him off a little bit. That to me, that was like, okay, I get it that you're telling me now, like, yep, there is that disparity in the family, but I could have used a little bit more. But biopics do that all the time. You know, the Bohemian Rhapsody movie, they try to make it seem like, oh, Freddie was just a troubled guy but had a perfect life. And they really didn't go into the deeper side of like how really dark and deranged some of the things that he did were. So like you kind of have to play it a little bit safe, I guess, but I do agree when it comes down to like the family aspect, you really got to show everything.
And I think you just said it. My main point that I was about to say, playing it safe. I think that's what biopics are gonna do from moving on forward. I mean, the Elvis biopic. You have Malcolm X. You have Bohemian Rhapsody, the Elton John. Like they're all gonna play it safe
Rocketman.
because we've got to think about it this way. If someone were gonna say, hey, I'm gonna write a movie about this person's life, it's like, okay. Well, they've had some troubled past. They've had some trouble, but they also were like number one in this category. They were number one in this for so long. They're gonna touch upon the good parts, the entertaining parts. We are in Hollywood.
Yes.
We have cinema. Like no one wants to see. If you want to see something that's sad, go see a non-biopic movie. Like go see a movie that is going to, pull on the heartstrings, where you're gonna have trials and tribulations.
Go watch a drama.
Exactly. These are not dramas. These are people. You're looking at the entertaining portion of a movie. Sure.
Go watch Hallmark Channel.
Yeah. I just don't think like if someone was gonna go see Michael and they were like, well, I want to see about all these accusations that they're like, I want to see what they say.
Not getting it.
They're in the wrong.
You're not getting it. Sorry. Like that's just like I don't know why you would want to see that anyways. But that's neither here nor there. I think that when you go into this movie, just expect like a concert. Just be entertained. Just understand that you are going to listen to some great music. And I mean, to me, it felt like a concert, and I'm happy to say that
you're gonna have some fun.
While I never got to see him in concert, this is the next best thing and the closest thing I'll get to it, and I love it.
To jump on one lighter note real quick, my favorite scene in the entire movie was the Thriller scene.
Yes.
And that, as a kid, I had the VHS of the Thriller, which included behind the scenes stuff. Like, I'm talking about in the 80s. He had that whole shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
nobody had BTSs like that. He had it on VHS, early 80s. And I remember watching that and seeing some of the makeup go into action, shit like that. And so when they did the Thriller scene, I was like, oh my God, this is fucking amazing. I love it. Oh my God. Down to him saying, well, pull out a little bit and see the whole shot.
I want to see the feet. It's the feet.
I want to see the feet. And remember that throughout the entire movie, every producer kept saying, relax your feet, stop making the feet, stop moving your feet. And here he's like, I'm going to move my feet.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think that was beautiful. I think that was poetic. And then the other part that I loved, and then I'm going to pass the baton on this one, as I'm sure we want to close this out, but his was when he invited all the gang members.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yes.
So good.
Right? So I had heard of this many years ago, many years ago, that he did that, right? And I even heard a rumor, and maybe you guys could look this up, that he was actually inducted into the Crips. That Michael Jackson was quite possibly a member of the Crips. Not that he was out there gangbanging, but because they loved him so much. They inaugurated him as a Crip.
The one part in that scene when the guy was like, "Oh my God, it's Michael Jackson." He was like, "Can I get an autograph?" And they were like dogging him. They were like dogging him. He was like, "What?"
And then he's like, "I'll sign autographs for everybody." And
yeah,
like, yay!
Yeah, exactly.
They're all cheering.
That's how big of a pool he had. Like he had such a big pool.
You saw the influence of some of those later moves by Michael Jackson from the moves they were doing in there. Like the popping, and then he started to do that, right? Like he started to pop. and along with like the crip walking, right, the sea
Yep.
walking, and
Yeah.
how that influenced the moonwalk, right? Like there was some variation. They were trying to explain that Michael Jackson was tapped into something
He's
that
pulling
was
from
very yeah,
these
he's pulling
groups.
from the streets. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, amazing. Good.
So
That
It's
was my
awesome.
second favorite scene.
okay,
Yeah.
so Steven, what is your favorite scene in the movie?
My favorite scene, it's just because it stuck with me. It really is just him going to the producer's office, and they're like, "We can't play your videos on MTV because they're gonna scare the white kids." Like, it's just so funny. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
when he's just like, "Let me call him," and it's like that 15 seconds of awkwardness. He gets on the phone, he gets at the player. He's like, "Or I'm gonna pull all these artists with CBS records off, and you can take the catalogs, put them in a bag, lube it up, and shove it up your ass." Like, that is just
Yeah.
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 one of my
Fucking
favorite
love that.
moments ever. The shot in the middle of the street waving at everybody. That's my favorite. But if I had to have like a little one that's different from what I said previously, it is the moment when he's in the hospital with all the children and he's just talking to them. And you see his bodyguard just watching him through the window and he's getting the kids gifts. The movie made me cry. I was crying like a baby. Whenever it has anything to do with, these children's hospitals or anything like that, I'm a sob. But it just showed the humanity of Michael. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
anything involving him getting the gifts to them or signing the autographs
Yeah.
in the Toys R Us or whatever toy store they were at, those are my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think
That
I
was
think
dope.
my favorite scene from the film was when he was doing like his concert. Like the I believe he was doing Beat It, I want to say, or Smooth Criminal. It was one of the two. I can't remember which one it was, but just in just okay, redact that. Any concert that he was at and he's on stage and he's just like
Amazing.
nailing it. And yeah, it was so good. Like, and then my
Yeah.
second one, and we'll get into our last segment of this episode. My second favorite is when he, in public, stuck it to Joe, and it was like, "This is our farewell tour," and Joe was like,
Yep.
"What do you mean farewell tour?" And he's like, "We love you, thank you so much." I actually have been sent. Someone sent me the actual footage. Like you can find it online, but someone was like, "Look at this." Sent me the footage of him saying that, and I mean, it's Hollywood, so you're gonna Hollywood it up. But you see Michael say, "This is our farewell tour." You see his brothers in the background, kind of go like, "What? What did he just say? Like,
Yeah.
did he just say that?" And his dad, and obviously you see this in the movie, but his dad was like, "I can't believe he just said that." And Michael's like, he finally, after all these years, finally stuck it to him and said,
Yup.
I'm doing it my way. And I love that scene. I love that scene so much.
Could we all agree on this one part, just piggybacking that for a moment? That when Joe came after him after that moment, that the bodyguard should have punched him in the face.
Oh
That's
my
what I was
God.
waiting
Yeah.
for. I was waiting
Yeah.
for some
Yeah.
violence.
Yeah.
I just love when he put his hand up. He was like, "It's done, Joe. It's done."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, man, he should have clocked him right there. Because he knew
Yeah.
there was so many times he wanted to.
Yep.
There
Oh,
a
he
lot
was
of
sick
times
of
he
him.
wanted to.
and that's the thing
Yeah.
that they make so good in the movie is that everybody that interacted with Joe and Mike, like they were like, "Why is this guy talking still?" Like when he's in
Yeah.
the studio and he's learning about the mixing, and he's just like, "Come on, Mike, he's a busy man. He's probably got other stuff to do." And the guy's like, "Okay," like he just laughs it off because he's like, "I can't believe this guy is this controlling."
Yeah.
It's so good.
It is, again, the movie is, in our opinion, very entertaining. If you want to know more about Michael Jackson, the person, you might want to do your own research because you're not going to get a lot of it in this film. But if you want to know about the entertainer and the musician that Michael is, I would highly recommend going to see this movie. It seems like a concert. It
Yeah.
feels like a concert. You'll be jamming out. You'll be sitting here tapping your foot, banging your head. At least that's what I was doing. And I think to end this segment, since we're talking about Michael Jackson, gentlemen, let's talk about our top 5 favorite Michael Jackson songs.
Easy.
I can go first.
Bruce.
Oh.
Yeah, JT, how
Oh.
about you kick it? We'll kind of go counterclockwise in the chat here.
Yeah, let's do it. So number 5, and again, if I'm being honest, these are my 5 favorites. They're not in any order. So, number 5 would honestly have to be "Man in the Mirror." Um, I love "Man in the Mirror." It is such a good inspirational song. Bruce, I'm not looking at what you're showing me because
Oh, that is awesome.
Bruce right now is rubbing it in our faces. Anyways,
This is the Jacksons. I Want You Back.
yeah,
And Who's Loving You?
yep.
Original press from Motown.
Jesus Christ.
That is
Anyways,
awesome.
45.
on the 4th, he just had to rub that in, didn't he? He just
Oh,
had
yeah.
to rub that in.
He's got to show us that he's
next
been
up-
doing this.
I know, right? Next one up is "Black or White." Again,
Oh, Black and White. Good.
fantastic song. I feel like I'm gonna leave songs out, right? Like you feel like you have 5.
Oh, it's hard
like
not
Michael
to.
Jackson. Yeah. The rest of them, 1 through 3, I'm gonna have to go with "Thriller," "Beat It," and "Billie Jean." I mean, they sound
Fair.
very cliche in a Michael Jackson like.
But when they're that
Stop.
good, they're that good.
One more chance, and I'll be there. I'll be there. This is another
Oh,
one
my-
of the 45.
For those listening right now, Bruce is showing us his vinyl. It's not fair because he has all these like legitimate,
awesome.
like they look awesome. But those are my 5. Steven, what do you got?
Yeah. So on my 5 here, I have some that are similar to yours, but I'm going to try to change it up a bit because I want it to be a little bit different. So number
Fair.
5, I'm going to kick it off with PYT, "Pretty Young Thing." Love that song. Then we're going to jump into number 4. It's "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough." I
Yeah.
love that song. 3 is "Thriller." 2 is "Human Nature." And 1 is
Yes.
"Billie Jean." Honorable mention, "Dirty Diana."
Yeah. All right, Bruce, close this out. What are your top 5 or 5 Michael Jackson? Your favorite 5 Michael Jackson songs?
So I'm not gonna pick any of the Jackson 5 because I think that would be cheating.
That's fair.
Although that's its own lane. Seriously,
It is.
That
It is.
in
100%.
itself, I can go down a rabbit hole of. Michael Jackson in itself, the Off the Wall album for me is it's Abbey Road. It's Back in Black. It's Black in Black, right? It's one of the classic. I think if there's ever a catastrophic event where the world is diminished and there are a few things left, and in the memory of rebuilding humanity, I hope that Off the Wall is there, right? I hope there's a certain collective of music that's there so they could remember how fantastic art was in our world, right? So I would say definitely "Living Off the Wall." That number 1. I'm gonna go and steal one, because "Human Nature." I mean,
So good.
the notes all of that shit
Oh,
was
we need a
just
rendition of this for Bruce.
amazing.
I
Well,
know,
no,
right?
there's so Nas, the rapper Nas, there's a remix by Pete Rock on his first album, Illmatic, where he samples that song, "Human Nature," and it's flawless. It's amazing.
Wow.
So all right, so "Human Nature," and first was and then PYT, because you know what, I gotta go PYT. That shit was to me. Oh my god, I was a kid.
So good.
Wait, I got 3, right?
Yeah, you got 2 left.
Remember the Time.
Okay.
Remember the time when you felt it. That shit is fire. And then Michael Jackson had an album right before he died where he worked with a lot of R&B artists. It was like his reemergence into R&B.
Oh.
And
It was
he
Escape,
had,
I think, right?
Yes, yeah. He had songs that were written by R. Kelly on there, by
Justin Timberlake
TLC,
was on there.
Justin Timberlake.
Yep.
It was a lot of production from other people on there There's two songs that I liked on that album, but I'm only gonna pick one. Honorable mentions to one of them called Butterflies, which was originally
Hmm.
a group called Flowetry Song. And if you listen, there's some reference tracks out there on the internet where the original singers are singing it for Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson picks up and sings it. But
Wow.
the fifth one for me is off that album, and it's called Chicago.
Y-
And it's such
yes.
a beautiful song. It's a story about a girl and how he's coming. It's like Michael Jackson singing about a lady, which you don't hear a lot about as a love interest. There's like maybe, I don't know, out of his entire catalog, 6 songs, maybe 7 songs, and this guy's got songs out the wazoo. So
Hmm.
to me, this is like in his last career run before he passes away. He does this album, and on there's these songs where he's like talking about women, and I'm like, I can't go
Escape
wrong.
was
I love it.
incredible.
It was a
Like,
good album. Slept
do you
on,
know where your
people don't know
children
that
are?
exists. Yeah.
Great song.
Yeah. Oh my
A
God,
place with
that
no
was
name.
a place with no
Dude,
name.
I mean, that's just
Dude, that album
fantastic.
is a freaking amazing album.
Yeah.
Yo, A Place with No Name.
Yeah.
I used to play that on repeat in my car
Mm.
on
It's
my
so
way
good.
to work. Straight up, loved it.
I love
So
the
that's
chorus.
my five. That's my five.
Okay. Okay. Well,
And
ladies and
notice
gentlemen.
is every variation of Michael throughout his
Yeah.
entire
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna
career
say I
and
love how
Absolutely.
different
Yeah.
each era
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. It's again when you go see this movie, everyone listening, um, look, don't look too much into it. I mean, I don't know what these critics saw. I don't know what they think, but their opinions are out there, and we have to give them that right. We have to give them that opinion. Um, Collectively, our opinions are that it's great. And if you are a Michael Jackson fan, if you're a fan of his music, I think you're gonna. Overall, I think this movie was fantastic. Bruce and Steven also agree with me. Um, but gentlemen, do y'all have any closing thoughts before we head out of here?
My final thought is be safe. Take care of yourselves. Don't forget to watch The Quantum Couch when it comes out. We got some great content we go over in that. There's also a poll that's going up. You guys will see that where you guys can answer some of the questions we've asked ourselves and participate in that. We're on pretty much most streaming platforms. There is a small community here on Discord, but there's also one on YouTube and there's also one on Spotify where you guys
Yep.
can comment and participate. Other
Yep.
than that, I love this. I love spending this time with you guys. I loved Michael Jackson's movie. Go watch it. That's my take. Peace out.
Past the silver screen, Steven, JT, Bruce. Let's look past them together.